What do you want from life? Because if you don't know, where the hell do you think you're going? The same way we use a map to get from point A to point B, the same way that we use a calendar to see what is ahead of us for this week, we have to use our decision-making process to start changing our future, because our past, well, obviously, if it hasn't been working, you got to do something differently, right? Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing hasn't been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. This is the VetRise Podcast, episode number 4. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can use your past to influence your future. Today, we're going to dive deep into the way that we plan our day-to-day, as well as some actionable ninja tricks that we can actually start applying tomorrow, or hell, today if you want to. So, I hope you enjoy the episode. I hope you guys get a lot out of this. Do me a favor and subscribe. Give me a follow. What's the other one? This is all new for me. So I've literally been doing this for 2 days now. And this is episode 4. Because I like to take messy action, baby. Because if anything that I've learned from life is that sometimes you got to just dive in. Sometimes you got to just figure it out as you go. Procrastination used to be one of my biggest issues. And now my superpower is just taking action. Because everything has been working out for me. But it's not that things just work out for me. It's just that I'm confident because I know that I'm not going to fail. Because even if I don't do well in the first episode, like the first episode of this podcast, you can listen to it, it's trash. But I didn't delete it because I just learned. And I made changes. And here we are. Sounds much better, doesn't it? Let's dive into it. So, the same way that we use a map to navigate our actual physical location, right? To get from point A to point B, we have to be able to use our calendars on our phones, technology, the right way. Because we complain a lot about all the notifications that we get on our phones and all the notifications that pop up, and it distracts you. Well, you set it up that way. Like, you have nobody else to blame besides yourself. Nobody sat there and downloaded 30 apps on your phone and turned the notifications on. We take so much time and so much effort into spending all these hours and hours at work, yet we don't take time and effort into making our phone be a quality piece of equipment. My phone has focus settings on it. I think that was the best thing that Apple ever did, figured out the focus settings. So if I want to, when I am in a geographical location, such as at work, I can make sure that my apps, even my home screen, certain things on my phone work differently. It's a whole new phone. So when I'm with my son, when I'm spending quality time with my daughter and my son, my phone changes and the focus setting is now home. And the background is my kids. When I'm working on my business, when I'm working on VetRise Academy, my background is my monthly goals, and then my actual wallpaper for my phone is my weekly goals. Right? And certain apps work on my phone. So this is all to say that at the end of the day, stop complaining about stuff that is on your phone and you say it's a distraction. You're the one that set it up that way, right? And if it doesn't give you traction, it's a distraction. If it doesn't give you traction, it is a distraction. Okay? So let's make that very clear. So if you have the time, set up your phone the right way, set up your calendar the right way, use the apps. Literally, I could pop on my computer right here in front of me, and I can see my calendar, all my notes, all my emails. I could grab my phone, and it's the same thing. I could grab my iPad, and it's the same thing. If I look at my Apple Watch, the thing that tells me what I have to do is right there. It's my next event on my calendar, right? And I also have focus settings on my watch. So if I'm working, I can do deep work at a certain time. Now, I know I spent a lot of time talking about calendars and phones and apps and all that, but this is all to say that you can create the life that you want for yourself with your immediate surroundings. You can create better habits for yourself. You can have a better life on a day-to-day basis. And as your day-to-day changes, your overall week to week will change. And if your week to week is getting better, then your month to month will get better. And guess what? It happens as that you do that. A byproduct of you having a better day is you have a better life. So if you decide that you put everything on your calendar and you decide how you're going to plan your week, because everything goes in there, and if you're busy, then you say no. If you don't have the time for it, you don't have the time for it. So before you overcommit and before you say yes to someone again, check your calendar. Work on your boundaries. There's nothing wrong with saying no, because at the end of the day, you're living your life. They don't understand how busy you are. There is such a thing as being busy and actually being productive, right? Because if you're just being busy to be busy, are you truly working effectively? Are you intentional? Are you focused on what you are doing? Are you really showing up as the best version of yourself? Or are you just staying busy because you think that staying busy is the only way that you don't have to feel guilty because you don't make time for the gym? Yep, I said it. We all have lives. We're all busy. I get it. But the thing is, if it's important to you, you will make time for it. I know we've heard that one before. You vote for what's important to you with your money and your time. So if you're spending your time on doing things that you say aren't important to you, such as watching TV all the time, such as sleeping in, such as staying up late, eating munchies and watching TV, then you are telling yourself that that is what's important to you. And if you spend your time doing the things that you say are not important to you, you're not going to believe yourself even when you tell yourself that it's not important to you. Now, you also vote for what's important to you with where you spend your money. So if you're spending your money at the mall, if you're spending your money on subscriptions, if you're spending your money on alcohol, if you're spending your money on that donut, if you're spending your money on wasteful, just stupid spending. I can't give you too many examples because I try and spend my money wisely, but if you're spending your money on a purse you don't need or on a pair of boots that you don't need, you're telling yourself that that is what's important to you. And yet you don't have time to invest in a gym membership? Are you kidding me? You don't have time to start actually investing in a mentorship program? You don't have time to start eating healthier? Because it's actually cheaper to eat healthier. I don't care what you say. It is a lot cheaper to eat healthier. If you can put it into your program, if you can actually take the time to meal plan, you're going to save money. Because guess what? You tell yourself that you're eating healthy. You tell yourself that you're meal planning, but you go to the grocery store, you buy all these groceries, and then 1 week and a half later, you're throwing them away because you didn't use any of them because you didn't have a plan. So the same way that we use our calendars, the same way that we use our maps to get from point A to point B, we need to be able to use our calendars, put everything in there. If you saw my calendar, it would look like a big old rainbow because everything is color coded. Everything is set on repeat that needs to be set on repeat. I even have my gym time in there, and I call it training. Because if I'm intentional with what I'm doing, I go to the gym and I don't lollygag. I know exactly what I'm doing. I have a coach because I'm focused on my life, right? So if I know that I have my business to run, I have my job that I have to do, I have a family that I have to raise, I have 2 kids, I have a full-time job, I have a responsibility, and I would rather spend my money on hiring a coach that can help me physically, because even though that's what I do, it honestly takes me more energy and more time to do it for myself. So I hired someone, and he's doing amazing. I freaking love the program. I go to the gym, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. The same way that I hold my clients to that standard. So when my clients go to the gym and I tell them what they have to do for the program, I expect them to do what I tell them to do because I created it that way for a reason, right? And if they vote and they say that it's important to them with their time and with their money, then they better start showing up for themselves. And they do. So if you are spending your time and your money in the areas of your life that do not align with your core values and your principles, and you better know what the hell your core values and principles are, because if you don't, that is a whole nother conversation that we're going to have, possibly the next episode. But if you're doing the things that you say don't align with your core values and principles, you're losing faith with yourself. You're telling yourself that you can't trust yourself. And little by little, you're losing that integrity that you have. Before you know it, it's very hard to look yourself in the mirror. Not just because you don't like what you see, but because you feel nasty. Don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. Because you feel ashamed. Because you feel angry. Because you feel guilt. Guilt is your guide. Guilt is your guide. When you feel guilt, you can think back. You can look at it. And you can pay attention. Why do you feel this way? What made you feel this way? And you just start analyzing. You just start realizing that if you had a shitty week, what was it that happened this week? What did you do differently that made it shitty? Did you miss your workout? Did you not drink enough water? Did you have 4 slices of pizza at the work party on Friday night, and then before you know it, Saturday came and you couldn't get out of bed because you were feeling some type of way? Did you decide to go out Saturday night and you had 3 or 4 drinks and therefore you slept in on Sunday and you were hungover the entire rest of your weekend? Is that why you had a shitty week? Did you have a shitty month? Did you stop taking certain vitamins that you were taking that really were helping, because when you take them, they actually work? And then you think that they work, and then you think you're fine, and then you don't need them, and then you stop taking them. And then you revert back. Did you stop doing your cold showers? Halfway through the month, did you stop doing the meditation? Did you stop doing your daily journaling? Think back and really try and analyze. Look at the calendar, because you should know what happened that day. Is that the weekend that you went away and you forgot to bring your gym equipment with you, so you missed the gym for 3 or 4 days? Or was that the weekend that you had 3 birthday parties in a row and you indulged at every birthday party, and then from there it was a downward spiral? So if you can identify what is it that happened that caused you to feel how you were feeling and ended up ruining your month according to you, then you can fix the issue. There's no such thing as having a shitty day. It's just about what you responded and how you reacted to it. Things happen. Are they good or are they bad? I'd like to argue that they're just things. How you respond to them says a lot about you, and it says a lot less about the thing that's happening, because you are in control. So just remember, as life tries to make you feel some type of way, because that's the way that society tries to make you feel. Society tries to make you feel like you're not empowered. They want you to feel like you have to rely on them. And I'm not here to get political with you. You guys know me well. That's not what I do. I'm just here to tell you that you are in control. So if you look back and the last month didn't go so well, that means that you are in control, because you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And right now you are exactly where you are at because of your past decisions. And if the Savage Squad is listening to this, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because this is what I tell you on a day-to-day basis. Today we had a coaching call regarding core values and principles. And the main thing that stood out for me, because even when I teach, I learn, the main thing that stood out for me is that if you keep telling yourself that one of your core values is integrity, but yet you are ashamed when you pass by that donut place and you have a donut, but you keep it to yourself. Or if you keep telling yourself that you are a man of integrity, but yet you lie when someone tells you if you went to the gym, then you are not working within your core values. Even if you trick your mind into believing that you are, and you say that you are still doing the whole integrity thing as a core value, if you're lying to yourself and you sleep in, you're not working or operating under your core values. I don't care if you do it 98% of the time. If you allow yourself to that one little lie, it does mean something. Because the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So if your core value is honesty, or your core value is enthusiasm, but you show up low energy, even when you know you should be high energy, or you show up to an event and you sit there and you gossip, but one of your core decision-making processes was to gossip less. One of your principles was to maintain that strong intestinal fortitude and not talk about the rest of the world, to concern yourself with yourself. But there you go, gossiping. Then you're not operating under your core values or your principles. So that was a little shout out to the Savage Squad. So at the end of the day, you have to remember, you are in charge, not just of your day-to-day, but your future. You really can create your future. All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor, but it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. Do me a favor. Think hard and share this podcast with someone that you think would benefit from it. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that is going through it right now, and you know that they want better for life, they just don't know how to do it. If this podcast can help them, do it. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to follow me, then great. You want to subscribe? Go for it. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode. The map, the calendar, all these things are tools that we can use to have better futures for ourselves, right? But again, going back to the principle that you are exactly where you are at right now. Right now, in this very moment, you are exactly where you are supposed to be because of all the decisions you made in the past. So all the mistakes that you've made, everything that's happened to you, everything that you've done, all your accomplishments, this is the culmination of it right now. How successful you are, how happy you are, how fit you are, how healthy you are, how tired you are, how full of energy you are, the relationships you have, the job that you have, the house that you live in, the family that you're raising. All of those things are a culmination of all of your past decisions. So if you are unhappy where you are at, it is your fault. It is. But that's also a good thing because that means that you can change the future. You can decide that from now on, you're going to make sure that all of your decisions actually do align with your core values and your principles. You're going to make sure that if you say that you're going to do something, you actually do it. Because doing that on a day-to-day basis is how you create confidence. Doing the things that you're supposed to do, waking up, going to the gym, getting 8 hours of sleep, hiring a mentor, being part of a program, eating the right foods, getting water, bettering yourself, being a man or woman of integrity. If you do the things that you say you're going to do, and you are actually honest with yourself, and when you mess up, you allow the guilt to guide you and you fix it. You only fail when you don't learn. But if you do these things, then you can create the life that you want for yourself. You can have the best future. You guys know this. And I want to see you guys thrive. I want to see everybody do amazing. Because as veterans, for the longest, we have not been doing too well. And I don't care what you say. This is not for the veteran that is doing amazing. Because when you do well, unfortunately, others are not going to do so well, and you're not going to see it. Because as a high vibration veteran, when you are doing well, you may not be able to see the veterans that aren't doing well. Because obviously you are surrounding yourself with the right people, with powerful people, with people that make you better. And unfortunately, those veterans that aren't doing well, the ones that I'm trying to reach, they're not in those circles. Because they can't be. Not yet. This is the message for them. This is to help the veteran that feels he's not heard. This is to help the veteran that feels like he can't speak up. Because when we use dark humor, when we tell everyone else around us that, oh, veterans are fine, we're all fine. Oh, JP, that veteran coach, he's just talking negative about the military and about the veterans. Come on. Who are you fooling? Do you know how many suicides we have a day? Do you know how many children are growing up without their father or their mother because that veteran felt like they couldn't speak up? Because they self-medicated alcohol to the point where they are no longer with us? Because they felt like they couldn't ask for help, so they went through something on their own, and now they are no longer here? Wake up. What we have been doing hasn't been working. So it's time to change. It's time to make a change. It's time to force the hand and change our culture. So to end on a bright note, that's what we're doing. We are changing our future by taking action and control of our present and allowing the past to guide us. Because we are in control. We can create the life that we want. Whatever you want, it is completely feasible. I promise you that. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. This one, I think, has been my favorite one so far. Filming, recording, whatever. Because it is 10:35 p.m. at night. In the room over from me is my son, and he's sleeping. Finally got him to fall asleep in his bedroom. And I am in the most peaceful state of my life right now. This is the most peace I've had in a very long time. And if you know me personally, you know that I'm going through it right now. But I'm also going to come out on the other side of it. I promise you that. And I promise you, I will be talking about all these things. A lot more episodes to come. All in due time. But if you know me, a lot of people would tell you, if they knew me, that I have every reason to fail right now. But for me, it gives me every reason to succeed. Because I control my life. I control my future. And I'm going to make sure that I am the generational change for my family. Thank you for your time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Do me a favor, drop a review and give me a rating if you would be so kind. Adios. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply just gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join this mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together as veterans. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.